Alrighty, happy Wednesday, everyone. It's so great to be here with you all once again, like every week at Floxies community. If you're joining us today for the first time, Floxies community is an international community for women in UX UI design and Webflow development, or we have a passion for no-code tools, anything related to design, illustrations, anything, you name it. Basically, we're gathering all these amazing, talented women across the world, and we're here to support them, empower them, and just create and generate more visibility around the amazing work that they do on a daily basis. So every Wednesday, we meet in what we like to call our accessible metaverse on GatherTown, and we invite these guest speakers. They're either members of our community or they're external speakers that come to inspire our community members. And today, our guest is Diletta. Her name is Diletta di Lullo. She's an Italian game developer, but she's also studied in Japan, and she's had working experience there in Italy, in the UK. She's highly experienced, and I'm so jealous because I'm a gamer. I've always wanted to play or to design, video games. So just having her as a guest is really exciting for me, as you can see. But today we won't be talking about gaming and game design. We will be talking about how to design a winning CV. So, we'll get the best of the tips that Diletta has to share with us. And without further ado, let's go into our gather space and greet the others. Let's have a look. Okay. So I'm already in the space. So this is what it looks like. Right now, we were having a conversation with the girls just before our live. So let's join the meeting table. I can see there's already a couple people there. So let's get into the space.
Hi, Claudia. We were waiting for you.
Hi, Diletta. I was just trying to introduce you on YouTube, but I'm so excited. Like, I'm probably messing it up because I'm like, she's a game designer and I love video games. But today we won't be talking about that.
Yeah, right.
But it's so true because, like, you're such an inspiration to me. You studied in Japan, which, I love and respect, and obviously video games, and you're a ambassador woman in games, which is just like, you name it, everything that I love, you're representing it in a human form.
Oh my God, I'm so flattered.
It is amazing.
Thank you. But I don't need any more introduction, okay? Too much pressure now.
No, don't worry. Our Wednesdays are very
the only
chilled.
thing you need to know about me maybe is my name. So my name is Diletta, and today we're going to talk more about how to design a CV, okay? So let me tell you first, there is a reason why I am talking about design and not how to write a CV, because so design is communication. So just like a writer or a speaker, that they choose the words to communicate a message, a good designer choose the right visual element to also communicate a message. And you are communicating your story, your achievements with your CV, and it's going to be the first thing that HR, so human resources person will see from you before they check the portfolio. It's very important that you stand out with your CV and you communicate properly your story. Okay, so in graphic design, communication happens through form, figures, colors, typography, composition. And today we are going to dig more into composition. So the layout of your CV. So I'm going to share my screen now.
I'll hum a little music in the background. Today I've been listening to California Dreaming non-stop.
Okay, so okay, just a second.
No worries. We have this many times with our guests. They have to give permission to gather, to access their setting, and yeah, especially if you're a Mac, I think it's more tricky. I think we might have lost her. She's re-logging. In the meantime, I'm gonna say welcome back, Kathleen. She's been joining us. Yay! Back from traveling around the world.
Yeah. Seeing familiar faces again, Hillary, Carmina, Claudia.
It's great to see you.
Nice to be back.
And Sonia is here as well. She's been away for a bit as well, probably studying the Web3. Sonia, what have you been up to?
Yes, hello everyone.
Hi.
Web3 as well. I finally actually touched the blockchain.
Here I am.
Hi, welcome back, Diletta.
Oh my God.
Welcome back. No worries, Diletta. As I was saying, it happens all the time, and I was just like chatting to Sonia and Kathleen that just came back after a long time. So no worries. All good.
Yeah. Okay, so I think you can see my screen now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to move here into my Miro board. I'm sure you know Miro. It's super useful if you want to collaborate with your team and organize your idea, brainstorm, etc. So let's pretend that this piece of paper here, this shape here, it's your blank paper, and we have to fill this paper with your content, your story. All right, so let's do this exercise together. We have to let's think about the main topic, okay, the main content that you find in a CV. Okay, I'm going to write here. Okay, so you have some hints because you can see 5 different shapes and colors for different topics, but we can do this together. So I will start by saying here, typing profile, right?
That's it. Might have, I was gonna say accessibility. Mirella's probably twitching on her chair.
Okay, exactly. Profile. Okay, what else? What do you have in mind now? What do you need to put into your CV?
Work experience.
Macro categories.
Education.
Good. Education.
Expertise.
Experience, of course. It's
expertise. Expertise. Does this word exist?
Like, you mean the skills?
Yeah.
Okay, I think you mean skills.
Yes.
Skills. Okay, we have education. We have your working experience. We have your skills. What else?
Languages.
There is one last topic.
Languages and maybe hobbies, depends, like interests.
Okay, so hobbies, interest. So
depends.
Yes, exactly. This is optional, but it can be hobbies. It can be
fun facts.
Exactly. So it can be something we can call more exhibition, right? More exhibition, awards. Exhibitions, awards. Of course, this is optional. We don't need to, it's optional, okay? So you don't need to show that you, I don't know, you want a competition or something like that, because maybe you don't have that. But what you have is for sure your profile, which contains your name and surname, your details, contact information, your link to the portfolio, It's very important if you are a designer, your education. Probably if you're a student, you don't have yet a working experience, but you certainly have skills that you acquired during your education. Okay, so here we have our main topic, main categories, and this is cool because now we work on composition, we work on your layout. We have these shapes here, we put all these here, and this is where the magic happens. So the rule is that you sort the informations. You sort on the top the most impactful information for you, and you leave the least impactful on the last. So, for example, this is your profile, right? Your name and surname. Probably you want to have this on the top. If you are a student, so you don't have working experience, so you probably want to have your education on the top of everything else, and maybe your skill will be here, and your exhibition awards. It could be like a project that you worked with your teammates, or some volunteer activity could also be that, So this is how you lay out your CV. You have these shapes, categories, information, and in design terminology, we call this information hierarchy. So we found the best way to show your achievements, your story, and your working experience. So here I'm playing around. So if you have a very good experience, working experience, very long one, but you graduated, for example, 10 years ago, probably you want to have your education here at the bottom. So you can, with this trick, with this shape, with this shapes, and forms, so you can play around. You can create your CV like I'm doing it now, and it's really fun. You can do it by yourself. Sorry, just doing this. Usually, okay, something like this. You can just decide how to show the information on your CV. And so first off, I just want to ask you if you have any question so far.
I think it's going well. I'm very curious to see.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm curious to see how it will develop the layout.
All right. So we have this composition now. Let's pretend. So can I ask you guys, are you a student, or are you working already? Can I investigate a little bit? So maybe we can work on something that fits on you.
Okay, so people, you can use the emojis at the bottom.
Yeah, if you are mainly students or mainly already, have a working experience into this field.
So Diletta, let's pick people one at a time. Otherwise, it will be everyone's talking at the same time. So I'm gonna look around the table. If so, let's use the emojis. If you're a student, you can press the heart, and if you're more experienced, maybe you can use the party popper. Okay, so Hillary is party popper. Okay, Carmia, Lizzie, Yuna, Yang, and Lauren are students, and Sonia. No, Sonia's both. Sonia's confused. Sonia is doing a bit of both because you never stop learning, right?
Yeah, I mean, I used to be a student, then I worked, and now I'm more a student than I'm working at the moment. So difficult.
Okay, so we have about 2-3 students, and then the majority are more experts or professionals.
All right. So okay, we can try to make both. Okay, but let's see about this. So this composition, now we are just trying together, and it's like it's not specific for any of you, it's just general, but let's try to do a quick composition and we see to the best practices for each of these. So profile, usually it's on the top because you want them to find your information right away. So there is your profile. Then let's see, there is your working experience because you have long experience. Maybe here you have your skills that you acquired during your experience, education, and something very important for you to show off. Now, let's see here the best practices for each of these categories, okay? Profile. So what do we have in a profile section? We have our information, content information, name, let's use something. Name, surname. What do you think about the picture? I'm going to ask you.
Let's use the emojis again. Thumbs up if you think you should add a profile picture next to your name. We got 2 people, 3, 4.
Okay.
4 people out of 20. 5. Yeah.
All right. So I think, of course, you see CVs, you see pictures everywhere in your CVs, but let me tell you something. You don't need to put a picture in your CV, not a photo of yourself, because you are not selling yourself as a person. You want the company to judge you for your experience and your skills. So if you put a picture of yourself, it's you are also trying to, it's not beneficial. So that's what I want to say. So I wouldn't recommend to put a picture of yourself, neither a logo, because this is not a brand, a visual branding. You like HR people has so many, they are so busy that they don't have patience to look at your CV, okay? So they will just maybe, I don't know, spend 30 seconds, 60 seconds, scan your CV, and everything that is disturbing, like logos, pictures, design, or don't know, everything could be destructive. Okay,
what if it's a great picture though? Would it not catch their attention?
Yeah, for example, here I just took this from the internet. I don't know if you can see, there is a stunning picture that you can see. So this is super destructive. I mean, I'm not an influencer, a top model. I'm just looking for a job. I don't need to put a picture like this. If you want to put a picture that use very minimal, super minimal, even though I wouldn't recommend it, like something like this. And there is your name and surname and your contact info. your portfolio, your email address, and if you have LinkedIn, of course, you have to put LinkedIn because nowadays everybody is looking for a job, job hunting on LinkedIn. And another thing that you should avoid is your address. So if you are open to mobility anyway, it's good to mention that in your cover letter, for example, or just a line on your CV. So open to mobility, that you are open to move in another country, work in another country, So picture and address, I wouldn't recommend to put it in your CV.
Would you use it on a personal, would you say that's more for, instead of sharing a CV, maybe you're sending them to your personal website? Because, for example, to me, I'm very...
a website is different, of course, because you are doing a personal branding on your website. But a CV, it's a very professional. It's just meant to show your experience, what you learned, the result of your experience and your skills, okay, to the agency or to the company, whatever it is, okay. So it's not a piece of art.
To me, this is really tricky. It's really controversial for me. But I'm not a recruiter, but I absolutely love that pitch. That kind of CV. But I know what you're saying, and
I know. So this is something that I also did in the past because I thought I am creative, so let's make something creative, something more colorful, more, with icons, pictures. But actually, this kind of CV is not, it's not working, because everything, there is another reason for that. So have you ever heard about ATS?
No, but I'm very eager to hear about it.
It's a system. Yeah, so it's a system that these companies usually use for checking keywords. So imagine like a company like Apple, Google, they don't have time to check personally all CVs, So they use this system, ATS, that they do the work for them. And this ATS basically scan your CV and the keywords. So they check experience, they check skills. Okay. So for example, this one is doing one very big mistake. It's changing the word skill with abilities, and this system ATS will never understand abilities as a skill, okay, because it's a software. It's not a person.
You convinced me. As soon as you mentioned big names and big companies, I was like, yeah, actually, I don't think there's going to be a person scanning through thousands of paper.
But neither, I have been working company for ages. I mean, I changed so many series. I sent so many series, and I know for sure because I asked to the HR that they anyway are using the system, even though they are not Google or super huge companies. Also in my previous experience, they were 100 employees, so not so huge company. But anyway, they use the system ATS. So you have to make sure that the keywords, the main keywords, so the main categories fit with the standards. So experience is always experience. Skills is always skills. Then we have education, and we have your profile with the content information. Now, if you use these icons, here, these icons, these elements could distract the system, disrupt all the scanning, and it's not beneficial for you. So here it's not, when you show your CV, it's not a good moment to be creative. You can be creative on your website, on your socials, if you are a content creator, you can be creative in any other ways, but the CV, it's recommended to be more minimal. Less is more. Have you ever heard about the less is more?
Yes,
Yeah,
I think
so
everyone here must have heard that. Just
yeah,
like a kiss goodnight.
it's like a mantra,
Yes.
Just put your the basic information that they need to check. So now we know that it's not really good to put a picture here. Not really good to have icons and graphics, let's say.
That's really helpful. I need to change my whole CV now. Thank you, Diletta.
Yeah, you can also put some icons, but you have to make sure that they belong to the category, So links, make sure that your contact information, so your portfolio, your LinkedIn link are all functional, okay? So they can click on it and open another page. Portfolio, LinkedIn. Oops. Yeah. And again, we know that anyway nowadays remote working is taking advantage of our working style, so you don't really need to put your address, like you don't need that. In case you want to mention that you're open to move in another country, you can just mention that in your CV as well, like open to mobility, or also in your cover letter.
Do you add the city, like London?
You cannot. Yeah, you can say you are located.
Yeah, based in the UK.
But not a full address. So also full address means that you are showing private information about yourself.
Exactly. We teach
everywhere,
that we teach that to the children nowadays in primary school. Do not share your private information.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So this is about the profile. Now let's move forward to the skills. You have skills, of course. How do you show these skills? The best way to show this is just have a list of your major skills and the skills that are related to the job that you are applying for. Okay, one big mistake that I also did in the past, and I see, on internet anyway, as a tip, it's not a tip. I think it's not beneficial for you. It's using this like representation of how good you are at something and also how bad you are at something. Like, guys, this is suicide. Don't do this ever when you show your CV, because as I said, you are showing that you are good at something, but also that you are bad at something, so it doesn't make any sense. So my advice is just have a list of your main skills that are related, of course, to the job you're applying. So if you are an illustrator, so of course you have to put illustrations, color theories, I don't know, a UX design, it will be user testing, could be a skill, usability testing, sorry, or let me think, interaction design, for example. Okay, so these are the skills that are related to the job you're applying to. Something that I forgot about your profile is your role, your how do you present yourself, you know. Who is Claudia? Cloud. So you have your
Clown.
name and yeah,
A professional
you have
clown.
no. You are a community manager, for example. Okay, so if you want to apply for a community manager position, just put here community manager. That's it. If you're applying for a UI design position, just put UI designer, your name and UI designer. Don't add like multiple roles, because they are looking for that you are applying for one position, not for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So just tailor your CV to the position you're applying to.
We have an interesting question by Kathleen in the chat, and she says, is it preferred one column or multi-column, which is more optimal for ATS?
What do you mean the column? You mean the category? Because
when you design it, I guess, you know,
this,
just the look, you know, when you submit it to the machine, is it more helpful to have everything on one single column, or is it okay to split it in 2 or more columns?
No, it's better to divide the categories. So if it's experience, you have to have your own category, okay, about experience. It's like your title, the title of the content.
Yeah, but would you put that all in one single scrolling thing, or would you separate it into
you
columns?
can also do that. Yes, you can also do that. So you can try to find, okay, let me copy and paste this one. Okay, I saw this a lot.
Because I think this is more of a design, like how to actually visually design your portfolio. I mean, your CV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can put everything under, you know, always depends on the information that you want to show, which is the information that it's super important to you. Okay, so if you want to show the experience on the top, your education will be on the bottom, you know, or maybe like this, I don't know. So you put everything on one page. Everything is let's say portrait mode, you know.
Yeah.
So everything is like this. So I think this is what she meant in the question, right?
Well, she was saying, is it more helpful to have it like this, or to split it into 2 columns? Maybe Kathleen, you can explain better.
No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, just like single, like if they're scrolling from top to bottom, or like double. Does it?
So this depends on
scanning. Just thinking out loud.
So this depends on your it's more about your preferences. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I am organizing your skills, for example, in columns. So you put everything in let's say a portrait, okay? Then you organize your skills like this. You have your title here. Skills. Oops. Then you have your working experience. So you will have a description. Your role in your working experience, when you worked on this company, you know, it can be longer, of course. Ideally, it's better to have everything in one page, but if you have a history, you know, I also have like 2 pages of a CV. It's not really damage, you know. And education, exhibition. Okay, you don't need maybe this. Your information here, it's your name. So this is what we do as designer, like we try to, it's like a wireframe, you know, we try to visualize the composition of your CV.
Got it. Yeah, that's helpful. I was just curious if that's the sections are one page, or like you had the example at the top where it was 2 columns, so versus 2. So
you can use 2 columns. You can use also everything inside one page.
Okay.
It depends on your preferences. Okay, so if you have a super minimal, let's say, I don't know, super long experience, so probably you want to use 2 columns, so because you want to organize the information in the way you show all the experience together with also the other informations. If you have a short experience, like max 2-3 companies, probably you can fit everything in one page, and you can have this layout.
Got it. So it just depends on how much information you have.
Yeah, it's about the information you have. Education, maybe you have super long education, but you don't have a working experience. So depends on how you want to show how you want to tell your story, you know. Probably you don't have this, or you want to show your education here like this. You can play around with this system.
I've done some quick research as you were talking, and it says that having a 2-column resume is not suitable for ATS systems because it might be these systems might reject resumes with fancy formatting and etc. As you were saying, logos, images, graphics, all of that. So it's
icons, everything.
It's safer to use a one column layout.
If you have, so in that case, if you have a super long experience, probably you will need 2 pages, of CV. It's not extremely important having, you know, everything fitting 1 page.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And also,
so what you can do.
Sorry, Diletta, I was thinking, like, you know, when you do a portfolio, an online portfolio, just showcasing your work, you only choose your best 2 or 3 designs. I think you can do the same thing for your work experience. So it's not a very worthy long page.
So one thing that it's one of the best practices about how you write your experience. So you don't need to list everything you did in your working experience. You just have to show the result, your achievement in your experience. What did you do? What did you achieve when you worked in that company, for example? What did you achieve when you learned in that school, when you studied in that school, you know? So here should be a very short description with a meaningful description of your achievements, of the result, of your actions. So if you have, you're super cool, you're genius, wow, you have all this, and these are all your achievements, wow, good. So what I would suggest you is to just pick 2-3 of main achievements, and then add a line here. You can write here, check here for more, I don't know, something like that, you know. And this is a link, so they will click here and maybe go to your LinkedIn page, for example, or maybe on your website where you show more about your experience. Could be also a case study, you know. So this is one of a trick. If you have a long experience and you don't want to show everything, you just make it a little bit shorter with a call to action with an external link. Okay.
Does
Education.
Does it work on a program like Word? I think you can link. Can you?
Word, yes. You can add links. Yes, I know.
Or is there another program that you can that you would recommend to write your CV on?
Anyway, everything has to be exported as PDF. That's
okay.
PDF. Yeah, so you don't send a Word file. You send a PDF, and every link has to be
clickable.
Every call to action needs to be linked. Yes, exactly, clickable.
Okay.
Yeah, you can make your CV with any kind of program. So also with Word, but if you're a designer, so you're used to Adobe softwares, but you can use Illustrator.
Yeah, Carmia's saying Notion is really cool.
Yeah, there are also some online tools that allows you to create these CVs, and then export them to a PDF as PDF. So yeah. Okay, so we talk about the working experience and making more meaningful. And so the elements that you have to add in your working experience are your role. It's super important because they will check your role and where the company where you work for. So if you work as a freelancer, that's good. You just mention freelancing, freelancer. It's not a problem. The time, the period when you worked. So if you are still working for that company, it's you use this keyword present. So you're still working for them. But yeah, these are the main key elements for writing the description for working experience. And it's the same for the education. So you have your school name and also the place and the time. So there is a title, there is the timeline. I don't know, it's a timeline. It's okay.
Do you mind taking a look at my CV?
Maybe after.
Why not?
Also maybe after, but it shows you how to write the studies. Because I put education first line.
Yeah, maybe we'll have a CV review.
Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
Are you a student? Are you?
No, I mean my studies are 10 years ago.
Yes. If you are very proud of your degrees,
yes, I am.
And your study, yes, you can put that at the top if you want to be. If you want to show that, it's not a problem. So it's but yeah, we have to dig more into your profile.
No, my apologies. I didn't want to interrupt. Keep going, and maybe you can have 5 minutes afterwards, or after you finish. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, we can check later. No problem. So yeah, education is the same. Exhibition, awards. So as I said before, it's more about some special project. If you did volunteer, for example, you are applying for a position that they are making application for pets, and you did the volunteer helping animals. I don't know, dogs, cats around. So that's good to show off. You can put that in this section, okay? So it's an extra. That's a good to have if you have it. So yeah.
Do you have a ready example of a CV that you would judge as a good CV?
That it's good.
Yeah.
No, so here I've chosen all the CVs that are not a good sample.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just do a quick search.
Mm-hmm. Because I think it would be helpful to see.
Yeah.
In the meantime, if anyone here around the table has got any question, you can use the emoji at the bottom of your gather bar, and I think it's number 6. You can put your hand up, and we'll come to you and see if we can answer your questions.
Yeah, no problem.
Or use the chat as well. So Stephanie's saying you can use complementary courses instead of awards or exhibitions.
Yes. What do you mean by complementary courses? Is it something like it's a master? It's something online course, something like that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you.
I mean, like, yeah, instead, if you don't have like any awards or exhibitions, in this case, you can add like supplementary courses. I mean, like something, for example, related with design, and you like study for a specific thing, but then you like do like an extra course related with, I don't know, lettering or
Yes,
or whatever.
so that
And you can add in that case that or
yeah, that's for some. I think it's if you did some online course, it's always about education because you're studying something, you know. So education is not only about, you know, your main school. I don't know how there is a terminology for that, you know. It's also about online courses and yeah, so you can put that under your main category, that is education, and of course if it's recent you want to put on the top, and so what is you know, it's everything that is recent is on the top of the list.
okay.
So
Carmia is saying, how personal should I get in my CV? I like long walks on the beach, or just I have 2 dogs, or nothing that personal. And then she says, a good sign on a CV for me is if the person played or plays sports, because it shows commitment.
yes, if it's meaningful for your career, you can put that you play sports, you are but it's more about social activity, I guess. So maybe it's related to skills. What do you think? Is it more about interacting with people? So you do these social activities, sports. They can.
Yeah, I think. Sorry.
Sorry, please go ahead.
Yeah, I have someone on my team that's a professional golf player, and
Okay.
she does so well. I mean, it's marketing, but she does so much better interacting with everyone in the team. I know golf is
Okay.
a single sport,
Right.
but
Yes.
versus the people that just want to be left alone, kind of. I guess you can see that with some programmers or so, but it really, I would choose a person that has played sports sometimes in front of another person. It just shows that that person can follow through, you know, like it can stick with something.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
So it's also about well-being, and so your skills don't need to be all about practical skills, you know, all about the software you use, etc. So they are also, welcome to see more about soft skills. And also, yeah, sports is so important for communication and be empathetic with people. If you do marketing, yeah, so everything could be important for your future application. It's the way how you show the information that could matter. So now I have a CV here. Let's see again. So I just took this from internet. So this is super simple. You can see they also divided their information in a macro categories with the name, informations. Okay, I don't like maybe this is old. I don't like the full address, you know. But yeah, it's simple anyway. And so here, if you're a designer here, you will need to put your portfolio link, LinkedIn, your social, very short introduction to yourself, your skills, your education, your extra. So this is a certification for this person. So this is an achievement. And your work history, your experience.
Stephanie, I think this is what you were saying in terms of certifications. Yeah, you can add it there at the bottom of your education.
Yeah, so this is part of the extra. You can add it for sure. Yes, it's your achievement. You should be proud to show the achievement. Of course, if you want a competition on, I don't know, how to cook pasta, you don't put that in your CV. So
it depends what you're applying for. Depends what you're applying for.
Of course, if you're applying for a super high quality restaurant, yes, you have to. You would be fool not showing your achievement. But yeah, we are all designers here, so I assume you want to work in a design field. Yeah, so this is a good sample CV for sure. It's all well written. I can scan everything. Maybe a little bit maybe I would add a little bit of space between the lines. It's more easier to scan, I see maybe a little bit cluttered because there is a lot of space here, unused space. I would make this more minimal, to be honest.
There's a lot of writing, but I think I know what you mean. Is nicely laid out. It's quite tidy. We've got a question by from Imani, and she says, should we include a project section on our CV, or is it just the portfolio, or is just the portfolio link enough? Sorry, Imani, I butchered your question.
It's okay. So I assume, maybe, I don't know if you're a student or if you are already a professional. So if you're a student, you want to put your project here. You want to show your project, yes. So when you type project, because that's your experience actually, so it's a project as a title, and you type, so here it's your role into the project. Now, yes, when you work on the project, and the short description that tells the result. Okay, so what did you achieve by working on this project? So yeah, you can use project, but if the project is a part of your working experience, it's better to combine them with the work description here. And having your portfolio for sure is helpful.
Okay.
Okay, so
Right.
Do you see any question about?
No, not in the chat.
Okay.
Do we have any more questions here from the community?
Everything is clear anyway. So the main topic for today. So what we did today, okay, like combining all these shapes, okay, it's designing, okay, it's design. You are designing, no matters what you do in life. You could be, you know, anybody. In the moment that you start planning and you start moving, you know, working with informations, you are designing. So it's important to have to communicate well the information that you want to communicate.
We've got a question about accessibility. Mirella's favorite.
Yeah.
Be careful what you answer because Mirella's here. So
But
for accessibility, what's the minimum font size recommended?
oh my gosh, okay, this is a technical question.
Google.
So for example, in this CV, I would say that the font is a little bit small, okay? So maybe small. I would say that maybe here they could use more of the negative space to make them to make the text, the description, okay, everything read, scan better. So if you start with so there are different type of let's say components, okay? So you have a title. Let's see here.
What's the minimum size like in pixels for you?
In pixels.
I think that's what they want to know.
So there isn't a minimum size because you have to consider also the title, the description. This can be bigger than your description, okay? So also if you start with one your preferred pixel size, okay, for the description, they should be consistent with the whole the everything, okay, in your CV. So if the description is, I don't know, let's say 16, okay, so here you should put 16. If the title is 24, okay, so here the title should be 24, okay, so everything has to be consistent. So
Mirella is saying minimum 14 point
right.
for the text size,
okay,
and then everything
awesome.
will scale, I think, from there for docs.
Right. Awesome. So yeah, be consistent is also another key topic. As for the font style, so if you start with the font style, you should always use that font style consistently in all documents. I don't see.
Yeah.
I
don't think I don't know if there's any more questions. We've got 2 minutes to go, but in the meantime, I just wanted to say thank you so much, Diletta, for today's presentation. It was really helpful, and I know that I have to go and just redo my whole CV from scratch. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for adding more work to my pile.
No.
But it was super helpful.
Yeah, don't worry too much about the CVs. This is only for educational purpose, so I'm sure everybody is doing great with their CVs. But yeah, keep in mind that the CV, the portfolio, of course, is important because you have to show that you can you can handle a project. But also, a CV, a resume is your welcome page. You know, you have to stand out.
Stand out from the crowd, but in the right way and without pictures or graphics or emojis.
Yeah, better to keep it clean, minimal. Yes.
Okay, well, that's a great, great tips overall. And I know that some people in the chat have suggested Notion. So Carmia,
Okay.
maybe next time we'll have a talk on Notion from you.
It sounds good.
Yay. Awesome.
That's nice.
And Diletta, if you don't mind, maybe Sonia wanted to share her CV with you, maybe in our Discord. Maybe you can have a chat about
no
it.
problem.
Yes, we have 30 seconds now because it's all visible in 30 seconds.
I need to shut the streaming, but you girls feel free to go ahead.
Yes.
And
please shut the screen and cause my address. We're not YouTube.
Yeah, we can.
All 2 minutes.
I'll come back later, but for the time being, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Diletta, and I'll see you next Wednesday.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Bye, Claudia.
Bye. I'll see you soon.
Have a nice day.
All right, and thank you so much, people here on YouTube. That was our talk on how to design a winning CV. I have lots of work to do on my CV, and yeah, I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.